he admitted that he is lonely.
Every step of the way, it's like, I just got more and more lonely, to be honest.
Maybe many of you are aware and knows well MrBeast.
I just bought this train and it is currently barreling full speed towards that
I'm gonna spend the next 7 days buried alive under 20,000 pounds of dirt.
We are now stranded on a raft.
A famous and very successful YouTube creator with approximately 82 million US dollars of revenue annually. But despite his overwhelming success, in one of his interviews, he admitted that he is lonely.
Every step of the way, it's like, I just got more and more lonely, to be honest.
And he is not alone. There are many famous celebrities worldwide that also felt the same. One of them is Anthony Bourdain, a famous celebrity chef, and he ended his life at the age of 61. Kate Spade, a well-known fashion designer and fashion icon, also ended her life at the age of 55. And of course, many of you might know well about Robin Williams, a famous comedian, a multi-awarded Hollywood actor that had a severe depression at the latter part of his life and also ended his life as well at the age of 63. So now, let's go back to the question. Are you aware or do you know why it is lonely at the top? Because all the crowds are left at the bottom. Yes, from the start, we strive to be on top of our game, only to find out later that it is indeed lonely at the top. Why? Because you left all the crowds in the dust and all of them are already at the bottom. And now that you realize that you are alone on top, sometimes we feel the anxiety, most especially if you feel the urge, whether consciously or unconsciously, to stay on top to preserve the very status quo. And now you put yourself in a dilemma as you face your present and worst enemy of all. And who is your worst enemy? It will always be yourself. And as you enter the paradoxical situation, as they say, you are also entering the beginning of the end. And that is what you call the irony of life. This is the very situation experienced by the wise king in the Bible, Solomon. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verse 9, he said, I grew great and surpassed anyone prior to me in Jerusalem. But in verse 11, he said, but when I reflected on all the works that my own hands had done, and on the hard work that I had toiled to accomplish, I saw that everything is futile, chasing after the wind, and that there was nothing of real value under the sun. Why did Solomon, despite his overwhelming success in life, makes this conclusion? It's because one day, his life will end just like anybody else. And he will have to leave all his hard work and accomplishment to the man coming after him, who did not work for it. And in Ecclesiastes chapter 2:19, nonetheless he said, and who knows whether he will be wise or foolish? And yet, he will take control over all the things that I spent great effort and wisdom to acquire under the sun. And he further said, this too is futility. Yes, even the greater Solomon concurred, the greatest man who ever lived, no other than Jesus Christ. In Luke 12:15, he said, even when a person has an abundance, his life does not result from the things that he possesses. Therefore, there is a big difference between happiness and joyfulness. Because happiness or the feeling of pleasure is nothing but superficial. While on the other side, the feeling of joy is not in any way associated with money, nor in material wealth that we accumulate, and not even in our own personal accomplishments in life. But rather, it's all about one very important thing. And you may agree with me or even disagree. But this one important thing is something that money can never buy. And this very important thing is no other than spirituality.